Wall Street Journal, not this week, ran not one but two very complimentary pieces by Holman Jenkins and Bill Galston on Joe Biden and his handling of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. They said he might be the man of the moment. They highlighted how un-Obama-like he had been in terms of his response, not just in terms of finally getting Germany to acquiesce on the Nord Stream pipeline, but lining up our allies, really being proactive, a lot of stuff that Obama didn't do after 2014. So doesn't Biden deserve some credit for handling this situation well?
Look, Dave, you know I love you, but I think the New York Times, it's the New York Times. And so what they're doing here is basically—
No, the Wall Street Journal.
Praising— No, I thought you said it was the New York Times.
No, the Wall Street Journal ran two pieces by the Wall Street Journal. That's what I'm saying. It's the Wall Street Journal that ran two pieces this week by Holman Jenkins and Bill Galston praising him. And the Journal has not been his cheerleaders, to put it mildly.
Fair. Well, and sometimes I disagree with the Wall Street Journal, and it would be in this case. Also, William Galston is their resident, center left person. So I basically very regularly disagree with William Galston.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's like William Galston is praising the arsonist for putting out the fire in this case, because Joe Biden is the one who started all of this. The reason why Putin has amassed hundreds of thousands of troops is because of Afghanistan. The insane level of weakness, dysfunction, and overriding his own military guides in Afghanistan that resulted in the deaths. And now there's going to be millions of Afghan children and women and civilians who are going to starve because of what Joe Biden did by allowing the Taliban to blow through all of the conditions-based withdrawals, requirements that were supposed to be in place. So that weakness is what empowered Putin to do this, because Putin did this in 2014 under Obama. He invaded Ukraine. And with Georgia in 2008, he did it under W. Bush. He did not do it under Trump. He did not invade because he knew that there would be repercussions. And so what Biden is doing, he incentivized it through his weakness. And so the fact that now, okay, maybe it's not as bad as William Galston, wants it, whatever. Okay, it could be worse. I'll give him that. But the Ukrainian government themselves have spoken out and said, Biden, what you're doing is a disaster. You're making things worse. You're stoking the fire here. So when you have the Ukrainians who are the target of the Russian ire being upset about this, and then you have Biden coming out and saying, we're going to abandon the American citizens here, but we're washing our hands. I think that's a failure of leadership. So I have nothing positive to say. Oh, and the Germany thing, it was actually comical but sad how in the press conference, he's standing there, Biden is standing next to the Chancellor of Germany. They're not saying the same thing about Nord Stream 2. Biden says one thing, and then the Germany says, yeah, we're not going to actually commit on Nord Stream 2. So I thought it was a disaster. But, it could have been worse. I guess I will give that, but it's been a disaster.
Well, I take a step back because, again, I think that every once in a while it's important to acknowledge, even if you don't support someone overall, when they've done good things, and I haven't heard that from you with Biden. I do it with Trump because I try to be fair. And the way I see this situation is taking a step back. Putin actually overplayed his hand. He thought that the West was not going to get their house in order so much. He didn't count on the alliances standing up to him. And Germany, Olaf Scholz is a brand new chairman after Merkel being in there for so long, right? So I think that Biden was very smart in the sense that he publicly said, if there's an invasion, Nord Stream is dead. But he allowed Scholz not to publicly have to commit completely to it. So that helps him on the home front. But I can guarantee you if there's an invasion, Nord Stream will be dead. But that's not the issue. The issue is Putin now has to figure out a face-saving way out. And I will just say again, this is one area where you and I agree on a lot of stuff, but where we probably disagree the most, and I think I have the strongest argument, is Putin and Trump. Putin had something on Trump. Trump fawned on him for 4 years, whether it's inviting the ambassador and a couple of other people into the Oval Office with no one. It's whether taking Putin over his own intelligence agencies. It's trying to get, the cringeworthy list goes on and on. All dictators are emboldened by Donald Trump because he's an authoritarian wannabe. The guy endorsed Viktor Orban. the dictator, as they call him in Hungary. He is an authoritarian, and you can look at it in terms of what he's trying to do with the election. And, that is what is the bottom line. And so now Putin wasn't expecting such a strong response from the West because he's gotten milquetoast from Trump for 4 years, nothing but fawning. The guy never criticized him once. At least Biden got in the first month he was in office. He called him a killer. I'll give you the last word.
Proof is in the pudding. Putin never brought 100,000 troops to the Ukrainian border.
That's because the timing wasn't
Trump.
there.
Fact.
Notice it's during the Olympics.
Yeah, the timing wasn't there because Biden wasn't in office.
No, it was, look at Georgia was after
because
2008, Crimea was after 2014, and now that there's the Winter Olympics after 22. Part of Putin's strategy, he always has a distracting thing going on, and it's worked very well. And by the way, Obama was very weak with Crimea. I mean, they did pass the Magnitsky Act, which Putin went nuts because it attacks the oligarchs, the source of his power, but it wasn't nearly enough.